Hi YouTube, welcome to Pagan Perspective. This is Friday and I'm your host Spirisary. Hi YouTube, welcome to Pagan Perspective. This week we are talking about organizing your Book of Shadows. So I kind of hinted at this at one of my other videos that we had something to do with the Book of Shadows coming up. And I do have my Book of Shadows here. So the only thing is I can't just show it. So there's a lot of things in here that I'm not able to show everybody, including the cover of it. However, there are a couple of things that I am able to show. Some pages that I have not worked on yet. I've just laid down the groundwork for. And so I can show those things. So one of the things that was being kind of talked about in the question was about how do you really put together all this information that you get? How do you start? Now for me, it's a little different. I started with a personal Book of Shadows versus a family Book of Shadows. And the family book is separate. That's something for the whole group, whereas your personal Book of Shadows is sort of your journal, if you will, along your magical process. So I started out with just a plain black sketch pad book. I'm sure you've seen them in Michael's and other places. It was about maybe like 5x7, and I had that little texturized black cover, and inside there were just plain pages. They weren't even lined. It was basically like a sketchbook. And then I graduated from that. When that got filled up, I graduated to one of the larger 8x11 versions of the same thing. I actually decorated my cover, all sorts of things with it. So there's ways in which you can find a Book of Shadows that will suit your needs. Some people like using 3-ring binders. Some people even like to keep digital Book of Shadows. For me, I am old school. So for a Book of Shadows, and this is the one that will be passed down in my family, it is quite large. I can try and show you the spine here. It's a very large book. It's quite big and heavy. So that's the family book. I'm old school in that way. I believe in having a very large tome to hold everything. I like that. The other part that I like is I like having to search for things. I don't have any sort of organization whatsoever in my book. So let me explain why. I think that there is a process of finding the information that you need when it comes to a Book of Shadows. I enjoy having to flip through it and discover new things each time you flip through. I enjoy having the process of looking for the information be fun and exciting. I enjoy that. It's an exploration to me. I also enjoy when I need to write something in the book, I enjoy being able to find a place, part that's not written yet, and opening to it, feeling like this is the right place for it. I just let my intuition and my feelings guide me when I put something new in the book, instead of trying to make it regimented, which organization works for some people. It does. I'm just not that way. So for me, I need to have it be more organic and free-flowing, and wherever that bit of information needs to go, that's where it goes. And I will discover it when I need to. On the plus side, I do have lots of these ribbon bookmarks, and I have lots of other little things that get stuck in there and stick out, and I've even been known to use little post-it notes at times to mark where I need to be if I need to reference more than one page at one time. So there are ways to kind of find the things you're looking for. So if I am to show you some bits and bobs in my book, I do have some pages that I have been working on that for this bigger book that I want to pass down. I have some pages that I haven't finished yet. And so I thought I would show you the beginning sort of stages of them. My book tends to be partially calligraphy and parchment and things. Other pages tend to be scrapbook style. So, oh, this is so difficult. It's so big. So this page is devoted to air, or will be when I get done with it. So, I'm sure you can see, let me make sure. So as you can see, I have a very scrapbooky style. Now, one thing to note in this is, let me see if I can reach around here, is that there are different places here. So this is a pocket, so I can stick information, little notes, anything extra I create, I can stick them underneath these, and this is a pocket as well. So you put extra information, especially like folded things, if you need a lot of information, you stick them on that and you can write them and put them in these pockets and then pull them out as you need so that you don't have to lug the big book around with you. So another page that I thought I would show you is actually my page, or a few pages, they're multiple, devoted to the burning times. So it goes on after here for this information, but I included different pictures of different wood carvings and things like that, talking about the burning times and all about what happened during that time period, because I think that it's also important to be able to put information in your book that talks about history and talks about where you came from. So I think those things are really important. So those are just a few pages on how I organize my book of shadows and some of the things that I do in mine. I realize that this is probably a lot different than what other people do. I literally hodgepodge it. Wherever it feels like it's supposed to go, that's where it goes. And it is right for me. I enjoy that feeling. I like it to be an experience, and I want it to be an adventure every time the book is opened for people to discover things. So it's really important to me. It is also an oral tradition. So much is passed down through the oral tradition part of it that a lot of it is reading and telling stories and experiential learning. So much of it is in the teaching of it. And so a lot of that is in my head and family members' heads, and so that will get passed on to children through that oral tradition, and the book will sort of be a backup and will be something that can be read like, hey, let's break out the book and read me a story from it or tell me something. So those are some of the ways in which I use my book, and hopefully that answers the question. I think you can put whatever you want into your book. I don't think that there should be any rules on what you can put into your book. It is free form, it's for you, it is your personal journey or your family's personal journey, and so there aren't these hierarchy of rules around it. Just do what makes you feel right and what feels like it's what should be for your path. So that's it for today, guys, and as always, blessed be.